Hey everyone, all right, welcome to another video review. So tonight we're going to be doing something pretty special. I'm going to again have to split this up into various segments because this is going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to unpack and then set up and review the limited edition Swarovski's Beauty and the Beast Rose from the live action movie starring Emma Watson. So this is a pretty epic collectible, very rare, very expensive. It's more expensive than most of my statues actually. And so previously, I had done a review of the Swarovski limited edition Cinderella slipper. And there, it was one of my first reviews, so I was a little bit inexperienced. I had unpacked everything and then done the review of the slipper, and then with one hand I put it back into the packaging, and this can't happen with this piece. It's a little bit too complicated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually video the unpacking section by section, and after that I'm going to put the piece together and then review that. So again, Swarovski, very limited edition. I'll have to actually check it up. I don't even know myself. I've forgotten the limitations. Very, very few of these were made available. And I have my mirrored base. Unfortunately, I had to cover it with some soft like tissue paper or Kleenex, mainly because the rose actually doesn't have its own base, meaning that it's hard to explain, but you'll understand when you see it. But there's actually no felt underneath it. So it's literally crystal. The entire thing is crystal, and I don't want the crystal to scratch on anything. So I'm going to kind of gently put it here and then put the dome over the crystal rose and then go from there. But I have to protect it from, again, any of these like hard surfaces that may scratch it. So this is all set up. This is set up. Let's see the next segment, and I'm going to start unpackaging it. Okay, so welcome back to the next segment. The outer part of the box is just basically the slip cover. There's no way to separate it. It's glued together. So you basically just slip this box out of the slip cover. Here's the lid, again, with the Swarovski logo on it and the Swarovski swan. You take the lid off. We're going to put it here on top of the chair. You can see that it lifts right off. Okay, no hinge or anything. And the inside is the soft foam. I already took the certificate out of its envelope right here. And then there's this little interesting thing. It's a warning. And all it really says, essentially, is it says that, please note that this product is not a toy. It is intended for decorative purposes only. It is not suitable for children under 15, as small parts and or broken parts may present a choking hazard. So it's basically telling you, don't play with this. And then they repeat this warning in, I swear to you, I think every language in the world, like Russian, French, Chinese, what have you. This thick booklet is basically that little tiny saying in multiple languages. Okay, so anyways, that's what this is. Here is the certificate of authenticity. If you open it up, this is sort of describing what Swarovski is all about, sort of their mission statement and their legacy. And then here's the certificate of authenticity, which you can read for yourself. This was released back in 2017. Mine is number 271 out of 350 pieces. All right, we're going to put this away, and then we're going to go on to the next part where I'm going to remove the foam to reveal the crystal rose and its dome. So as you can see, I've removed the padding from the top of the box. As you can see, there is this little slit right here, and this goes all the way through to the bottom. It's to accommodate, this actually opens up, it's to accommodate the edge of the actual crystal rose. So let's go and take a look. This is what you see when you remove the actual padding. So as you can see, that this is the edge right here that corresponds to the gap right here. So it's supposed to go and lock this into position right here. So this is the actual rose itself, and then this is the dome that covers the rose. Let me start by just sort of gently taking it out and have it rest like this. So this is the indentation for it. As you can see, this rose here, you know, the bottom of it, there's no padding, it's all crystal. And so you can see if you put it on something, you do run the risk of damaging the bottom, okay? So this is the bottom. It's just remarkable. All these facets are there. The little tiny things you see here, these are part of the base. They're not defects. So we're going to take that and then we're going to place it in the center of the turntable like so. Okay. I'm going to move this aside. We're going to take a look at this, maybe give it the attention it deserves. Slowly turn it. So again, the bottom is all clear facets, multiple cuts, and then here you have the green and the red rose. This is supposed to be a crystal facsimile of the Enchanted rose from the live action Beauty and the Beast. As you can see, it is very beautiful, very finely cut. The colors are gorgeous, sort of this light greenish tinge. You have the leaves, and of course the deep, dark, almost blood red color of the rose. All of these individually cut. A true work of art as far as this type of thing goes, if you appreciate it. Okay. And again, it would always have been very tricky. You know, of course, Cinderella's glass slipper was made for this type of collectible because her slipper is crystal, just like a match made in heaven, right? Swarovski crystal, crystal slipper. But the rose, the Enchanted rose, is a lot harder because, again, in the movie and in the animated movie and the live action remake, the rose is actually magical. It's supposed to glow, it's supposed to float in midair. So it's very difficult, obviously, to get that effect. But I think Swarovski went to the next best thing, which is just to create one of their most spectacular roses ever. And Swarovski actually has, a history of making beautiful crystal roses. I actually have a little collection of them. And I bought my first one, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. And they have little hues, they have pink hues and purples and all that type of thing. And every once in a while, maybe every year or 2 years, every couple years, they'll come out with a nice new design. So Swarovski already has, again, a history of beautiful roses, but I think they really knocked themselves out to do this one. And the one thing that doesn't really show up as well on video is the depth of the color. I mean, it really is a dark ruby red, very, very beautiful and contrasting very nicely with sort of the subtle greens, the darker greens, the lighter greens of the stem and the leaves. And then, of course, all of it on this beautiful, clear beautiful, clear crystal base. So this is only the second time I've ever taken it out for review. This is only the second time I've ever taken it out. This is the first time for review. The first time I ever took it out was when I first got it, just to sort of carefully inspect it and make sure there's no damage or cracks or anything like that. And now this is the second time I've taken it out. You can imagine why I don't take it out very often, because it's just so fragile. You have to use gloves. Everything has to be protected. Again, it's Swarovski crystal. So, you want to be very, very, very gentle, very, very careful with it. So hopefully, just sort of as the turntable slowly turns, I hope the noise isn't too distracting, but hopefully you can sort of appreciate what this looks like. Okay. So I'm going to stop it. I'm going to try to do it again with flash so that the light from the flash can kind of catch off of the different facets. Okay, so here's the effect with flash on. So there's actually lighting from the camera. Hopefully you can sort of see the effect of the light on the piece. You can see a sparkle. Again, mine is number 271, and the number of the piece is actually engraved on the undersurface of the base, right where the green stem meets the surface. Very, very rare. You can see the hint actually of the different cuts over here. The dome alone has 400 cut facets and is a perfect representation of the dome used in the movie. Obviously the rose itself was CGI, so they can't exactly duplicate that, but the dome itself is a perfect replica. Here it goes. See it shining. Okay, very good. Let's take a look at the dome next. So here's the dome in its position, hand engraved, mouth blown glass. It's the bell jar, and again, it is perfect representation of the dome from the movie. It's very heavy. Take it out with one hand. So here's, you can see all of the different cuts and the cuts here. So you take this and then you gently, very carefully put it over the rose itself. Okay, that was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. Let's turn it again. So now you're going to see what it looks like in the dome. It looks gorgeous. You know, I don't think I actually put the dome over the rose the first time I got it out. I think it just sort of inspected it and then just quickly put it away. So here you go. Going back, this is rose in the dome, straight out of the movie. It's a magnificent piece of Swarovski art. Looks stunning, all put together. It retailed for $2,700+ actually. When it first comes out and you're lucky enough to kind of get it pre-ordered and reserved, you can get a significant discount, you know, sometimes 20%, 25%. But this is long sold out, very rarely available, even on eBay. And I think the last listing they were trying to sell for $5,000. I don't know if they ever got it or not, but that's sort of the listing for it. And there's no current listing on eBay for it at all. So it is a very, very rare piece. They have a smaller version of it, like literally like this tall, which is quite a bit cheaper. It's a few $100s, but this here is the real deal. Again, going a little bit closer, you can see the very top of it and appreciate sort of the cut facets. Again, 400 cut facets in the dome alone. And then of course the engraving on the actual dome, and then the gorgeous rose on the inside. Just stunning when you look at it. And of course, I'm a big Beauty and the Beast fan. I mean, Beauty and the Beast, the animated version, is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's top 2, 3 or so. It's up there with Lord of the Rings and the original Star Wars trilogy. So, you know, for me, a live-action remake and finally a fitting, worthy rose. It's so hard to find a worthy rose because it's such a hard effect to pull out, kind of to pull off. And I'll show you the Walt Disney Classics Collection version, which is, I mean, they did the best they could, but certainly not very good. But to have this version from the live-action movie finally realized in crystal form, it's just sort of a dream come true. So I'm going to stop it right here, and then we're going to try to do it with real light, just to kind of see how it looks with the light reflecting off of it. See you at the next segment. Okay, so here's with a surgical headlight. This is very, very bright, so it might be a little bit too bright. So let's see how that light shines You can see what it does. It can just make the crystal come alive from this angle. You can see the greens, the reds, almost as if it's magic, right? So in person, the effect is amazing. It's pretty stunning against the red. You can see now the red ruby coming off. Wish I could capture it a little bit better, but there you go. You can see as it hits the crystal facets, it just scatters the light in all these directions, and then it turns red when you hit the actual rose itself, and then green when you hit the stem and the leaves and all the way down. So again, just pretty remarkable. Play with it at the very top. And then you can see it at the bottom. Again, just go up and down, kind of show the brilliance of it. We'll back off a little bit. Give it a little floodlight so you can see all of that. Very nice effect. There you go. Okay, so I put away the glass dome, and then I'm going to try to again use the light at maximum and just look at the rose itself. So here we go. So you don't have the actual crystal of the dome diffracting the light, reflecting it. You can sort of see all the sparkles. And then when the light hits the rose, the ruby red rose, it just sort of comes alive, just like that. And look at it from the side. Here we go. And then the green of the leaves backing up. Let's turn on the turntable. As it turns, you can appreciate how it looks. So, really after I make this review, I'm going to put it back again. It probably won't come out for quite a while. I think after seeing this, you can appreciate why it doesn't come out very often. It's fabulously delicate, extremely fragile, very, very rare, extremely expensive. And really, it requires essentially its own, I think, display. It needs its own centerpiece, rotating display, with spotlights beneath to really truly sort of bring out its beauty, and that will require quite a bit of investment and time. It has to be custom made, but for those of you who might be interested, I just wanted to kind of break this out so you can see how beautiful this is and what this looks like. It's just such a rare thing. I have to check YouTube, but I would be shocked if there was another video of this made unless it was from a company. Because out of the 350, you have to ask yourself how many of the people of the 350 would actually, go to the effort of making something like this. It's very, very unlikely. So this might be the only one of its type. So again, Beauty and the Beast has a lot of fans. The live action movie made $1 billion. It made well over $500 million in the United States in 2017. So there's a lot of fans, and there's a lot of collectibles based off of the movie, a lot of merchandising. But this is sort of the holy grail of that. This is the ultimate version of that. And there's not a lot of opportunity for people to kind of get an idea of what this looks like. You're not going to see it in hand. And so this is sort of the next best thing. So again, I'm just kind of hoping to, put it out there. And for those people who are interested, they'll have a chance to see this amazing collectible from Beauty and the Beast live action. So rare, it was sold out before the movie even was released, and gone so quickly that very, very few people, again, would have a chance to see this in person, to actually see what this looks like. So there you have it. I'm going to turn off the floodlights. One last chance to take a look at this beautiful piece before I put it away. So, the live action Aladdin is coming out in a couple of months. I'm almost 100% sure that there's going to be a Swarovski version of the lamp. I'm not as big an Aladdin fan as I am a Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast fan. And so I'm a little bit conflicted. I don't really know how to feel about that. But maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll see if I want to get that as well. But if you think about it, the crystal slipper, the magic rose, and the lamp are kind of no-brainers for Swarovski to create great collectibles. Although the lamp is a little bit of a stretch because it's typically, mythologically, it's supposed to be this old piece of copper. It's not supposed to look really good. It's kind of like the Holy Grail from the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and you have to get a more unadorned cup. It's not supposed to be flashy or gold. So I don't quite know how Swarovski is going to pull that off, but we'll have to wait until we see the movie to see what the lamp looks like, and then we'll see maybe Swarovski's interpretation of the lamp. The partnership between Disney live action and Swarovski first was made between Sandy Powell, the great designer, costume designer, on live action Cinderella, and then they sort of continued that association, continued that relationship for the live action Beauty and the Beast because it worked so well. But the relationship has to make sense, and I just don't know how much Swarovski is going to be really involved or appropriate for a tale like Aladdin, set in the Arabian Nights, right? The tales of from the Arabian Nights in the Middle East. But again, we'll wait and see. And if the lamp looks as amazing as the rose and the slipper, then I would be tempted. So thanks again for joining me. I don't mind telling you I'm sweating right now, not because it's hot, but because when you're trying to handle something this valuable and making a video of it, it's a little bit stressful. But again, I'm glad you guys stuck it out with me, and hopefully you enjoyed this. Of all my statues, all the stuff I make videos of Legos and miniatures and whatnot, this is probably one of the most precious, one of the rarest. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you appreciate all the work that went into showcasing this. And until next time, take care.